Final word, Wisdom Cricket Monthly, fueled by Kookaburra Cricket. I'm Adam Collins. I've got with me Zainab Abbas. Now, we've had her on the show before. She's a bloody star. She's got 1 million Twitter followers as of this week. We were going to talk about Pakistan cricket more broadly, but initially, how can we not talk about the marvellous day that Pakistan's had today at Lord's, knocking over England for 184 on the first day of the series?
Yeah, I think they couldn't have asked for a better start to the series. I think they were right on the money. When you look at their bowling, the way the bowlers performed, they did. I felt that they executed their plans very well. The areas that they bowled in, especially in terms of the line and length, they were trying to bowl fuller. It was all very much attacking and trying to get wickets. So I feel that's something that we saw from all the bowlers. Zainab Abbas, he's slowly, I feel, turning into our spearhead. Considering that he bowled really well against Ireland and he took 9 wickets over there, and now he's bowling well over here as well. He doesn't have much pace, but again, he's got immense control over his bowling, and he moves the ball a little bit as well. So, they were making comparisons of him with Philander and Mohammad Asif as well when he was bowling here. So, I feel it's a good mix at the moment.
Mohammad Asif, also Glenn McGrath, the way he took it up the slope and down the slope. But Hassan Ali, what about his wicket celebrations? He's a star as well. Took 4 of them. He was the quickest bowler on display today. He didn't actually play against Ireland a couple of weeks ago, but we saw how impressive he was in the UK during last year's Champion Trophy. He's picking up where he left off here, isn't he?
I love his attitude. That's the one thing that we always mention when we talk about Hassan Ali. He's got a typical fast bowler's attitude, which is, he's aggressive and he comes right at you all the time. And even if he gets hit for a couple of boundaries, he really comes back strongly. So that shows that he's got a bit of character going on about him. But I felt, like yesterday, I had a chat with the coach as well, Mickey Atha, and that was one of the factors going for him. That with the slope and with the conditions, he gets the ball to skid at that particular pace, and he can really surprise you. He's kind of deceptive in that regard. So I feel that it was the right decision to be including him instead of Rahat Ali, and he's certainly, he got the wicket of Joe Root, which was a prized wicket, and overall it was fantastic. It was just great to see this. The slips were actually holding on to the catches, which has been one of the weaknesses of the past of Pakistan.
Now, that was today. We wanted to have a chat more broadly about Pakistan cricket. When you were here 2 years ago, you went to the top of the world in the Test rankings. Now Pakistan are ranked number 7. It's a radically different side, led by Sarfraz. The miss-you combination is no longer. What's gone on in the last 2 years which has seen them sort of drop down the rankings, but why are they so effective still in these conditions?
I think we've had a couple of tours in overseas tours. So we lost in New Zealand, then we lost 3-0 in Australia. So that really obviously brought them down the table. And it is hard. It is hard when the conditions are different. There were opportunities, there were moments within those tours where you could have thought that they would have done well. But I feel that at that time they really didn't have the bowling firepower. So, for example, Hassan Ali, he was not part of the team. He was not part of the Test team. And then Fahim Ashraf, you must have seen him, he's the 5th bowler. He wasn't part of the team. So there has been a bit of changing and chopping since then. They've wanted to add a bit of firepower in the pace department because we were really lacking that. We had a few bowlers who were not really up to the mark in that regard. And also fitness, that's one thing that they've really worked hard on, and we can tell as well. The bowlers were coming back for the 2nd and 3rd spells and weren't able to put in that kind of effort. So it was a collective thing that brought them down in the rankings as well. And then we lost recently at home against Sri Lanka. And that one of the reasons was because Misbah-ul-Haq and Yunus Khan, the 2 stalwarts, the 2, the greatest batsmen that Pakistan have produced, they retired. So it's like your backbone has been broken. Backbone of your batting has been broken. So it was a massive loss. And I think whenever there's a young team, it takes a while for them to click together and sort of pull through. You
said playing at home. Australia's next Test matches they play are against Pakistan in neutral territory, the UAE, but it's been something of a fortress for the Pakistan side over the last few years. The last time that Australia played there, they got absolutely wallops. But can you give a bit of insight as to how far away it might well be until we see consistent international cricket being played in Pakistan again? We've seen the success of the PSL having the final there this year. Is it a long journey until we start seeing teams like Australia touring Pakistan rather than going to the UAE, or are we still a ways away from that, do you think?
I think it is a step-by-step story. So, for example, you had the PSL final, you had 2 games in Lahore, there was 1 game in Karachi, then we had West Indies come over to Karachi to play. But, when you look at England and Australia, they're slightly on the sensitive side in terms of, security and all these issues. So, I don't think that it's something that's going to change overnight. It has to be a gradual process, and there needs to be stability around in Pakistan in that regard. I mean, there has been progress. I would say things have definitely gotten better, and that's a great sign, because people in Pakistan, they love cricket. They would love to have Australia over that. We see all these empty grounds, and it's such a sad sight. But it's changing and it's improving, and one can only hope for the best. And I do feel that eventually, at some point, it will resume completely. But don't expect it to be overnight. I think it's going to be a while.
After the drawn Test series here in 2016, you went number 1. 2017, it was a Champions Trophy win here against all the odds. If they can beat England here again at home in 2018, what would that do for the confidence of this squad under Sarfraz Ahmed?
Yeah, it would do wonders for them. It's a very young and inexperienced team. You've got maybe Sarfraz, Amir, Azhar and Asad. These were the guys who played in the team that played in 2016. But apart from that, if I'm not leaving out anybody, I can't remember. But if I've missed out somebody, sorry. But apart from that, it's a rather inexperienced side. And the one thing with Sarfraz is that, he really knows how to get the young boys together. We've seen that in the one-day format as well. And the dressing room atmosphere at the moment is brilliant. So regardless of what happens, it's probably, you never hear that kind of culture. And I'd give credit to Mickey Arthur for that, because he has built in that team culture within the Pakistan team. It has been sort of up and down, and it would be amazing to win at Lords on their part as well. England is a place actually that Pakistan does love. A lot of the wins that they've had have been within England. Lords, they won last time as well. So it seems to be their hunting ground, as so to speak. So it is their best chance as well, with the kind of bowling lineup they have.
Especially London. Zainab Abbas, thanks for joining us. We love having you talking to Wisden and Kookaburra Cricket. Until next time.
It's a pleasure.
Oh, the back flick. Yeah, it happened in a game against the Heat up at Drummoyne Oval in the WBBL, and was actually having not a great match to that point. I didn't feel like I was gloving them very well, and Holly Furling decided to take on Sarah Ailey's arm on the last ball of the innings. Sarah threw it well wide of where it needed to be, but unfortunately I somehow managed to flick it back onto the stumps and run her out. So made social media, but biggest fluke in sporting history, I think, second to Stephen Bradbury.